of Yah'm saying Saturday evening episode of Yah'm saying. What's going on, bro?
What's going on, man?
Man,
Wow,
good.
man, just everything that we have to start talking about today.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah, it's been a crazy week, man. Yeah, it's been a crazy week from of course DMX passing away. Charles Barkley making the news, Hueby Brown with that ridiculous statement, and then the other day, video come out from a December arrest of a second lieutenant, an Army second lieutenant, who got pulled over for a license plate, and apparently he needed to be in handcuffs for it, and pepper spray and guns drawn on him. But it is what it is, man. At this point, man. But yeah, man. So we're gonna talk about let's chat on this DMX news, man.
man, oh man, this one was a hurt piece for the hip hop community, um, and not just the hip hop community, man. For every person in this world that find themselves with struggles, um, that loss is major
Yeah,
because he showed everyone how to still uh, be human while you go through struggles.
yeah, yeah, man.
You know,
Yeah, X always communicated his struggles. It wasn't anything that he hid from anybody. And we're going to talk about mental health and that aspect of it. And I think it's important, especially for Black men, to be able to communicate. These issues. The mental health issues aspect of it. Of when it comes to addiction, man, or just any mental health aspect. Communicate that through his songs and many interviews, man. And he will be missed in the hip hop community. Most definitely a force, one of our greatest MCs for sure. You know, he the one thing that I liked about DMX was that he was a great storyteller, man. You know what I'm saying? Like he could tell a story no matter what he was, talking about. Like his rhymes wasn't intricate. It was no, it wasn't all these double entendres or triple entendres or trying to do all these syllables. He was just telling a story. That's what he was. He's a great storyteller.
hmm
And and yeah, man, I think that part in
yeah,
hip hop today is missing. But yeah,
yeah. No, I totally agree. Me and the wife, we were talking about it, and you know, uh, I just don't think like, especially when it comes to like this younger generation, because we talk to our kids about hip hop all the time, and they don't know what it means to for an artist to be a storyteller, um, one that can convey a message with all of the art of poetry, because they're inundated with, you know, pretty much it's more or less street violence without a message, or just a nasty song without a message, and they don't understand that's not hip hop in a whole. You know, people like DMX is the epitome of hip hop, because you don't need to always have a song that's strictly about violence and so forth to 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 show your craft.
Yeah, man, absolutely, man, and yeah, I hate to make this this generation versus that generation talk, but at the end of the day, that's what it is, man. I think that there was a most definitely in the younger generation or in our generation, right? That was coming up, the DMXs and all these other artists that came up. It was about being good at your craft, and part of that was being able to communicate. Like you said, like tell a story, have content. You know what I'm saying? Like nowadays, these young, they'll just rhyme stuff because it rhymes.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like I love Migos, man. I was on Migos before everybody got on Migos. You know what I'm saying? But and mainly because of the energy and everything. But they don't, it's not, they just rhyme stuff just to rhyme, at times, man.
Right.
And that was how they, and I get it, man. It's the changing of the guard a little bit, moving away from what it was in the '80s and the '90s and stuff. But DMX's ability
Right.
to always tell a story, man, no matter what he's writing about. You know what I mean? Everybody's favorite line is when what these bitches want from a nigga. You know what I'm saying? That song when he's talking about all the women that he met. That's like iconic, man. Everybody,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? And all he's doing is just telling a story, you know what I'm saying? You know, Keisha, Alicia, you know what I'm saying? About three Kims, you know what I mean? And people always remember that. You know what I'm saying?
So,
What was I listening to? I was listening to today to
so my
what's
so
up?
no, I was going to say so. My daughter, she was like, she said, "Man, I just heard that song. What these bitches want, and so forth." She was was just a whole bunch of names, but the song was hot. And I said, "Sweetie, go back and listen to it." And he's telling a story behind all those names.
Right.
I was like, "Yeah." I said, "That's what made him awesome." The song sounded simple, but he was literally telling a story.
Yeah, yeah. I think on one of his on Grand Champ, I believe, when he's talking about his dog Kato, and he's just telling a story about his dog. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, like DMX was a force, man, and I hope people. I seen somebody share something on the books faces there about about a newspaper that has that put him against the prince that just died. You know what I'm saying? And said that called him like a troubled rapper or something like that. They did
Oh, that's
troubled
disgusting.
person. Like yeah, man. Like what's the point at that? You know what I'm saying? Like what I mean? Everybody understand the tragedy. Yeah, he died at a young age. 50 is young, and everybody understand his issues, man. But he grew up in a you know he's an icon. You know what I'm saying? I know cheerleaders better be celebrating him. I tell you that. Couldn't go to a cheer event without hearing DMX, man. When my,
Oh yeah,
yeah, it's
with
crazy.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, that disgusting article, man. It is literally what we see boiling over in the world, where that was classism, racism, all mixed in one. Call it what it is. Like it's no way that you're gonna sit here and compare a artist who came from you know bad upbringings, far as like being in the rough neighborhoods and so forth, to someone who was privileged all their lives. Yeah, of course he has a chance to live till he's 99. He has the money to get the service, where someone else who went through hard times in the neighborhood, And with that comes trauma, which with that comes mental issues and so forth. Yeah, the likelihood of that person surviving until 99 is slim because those mental issues don't go away. And that's what made that article disgusting.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And like I said, man, like you said, man, it was done with a purpose, man, and that purpose always exists in this this racial hierarchy that's in America, man. That's what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? At times, black people, especially black artists, can't die in peace, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And then yeah, man. And what I see, I saw something from the game where he was like saying like, man, people don't love you or love you or something when you're gone or something the game put up. And I'm like, yo, game, like, come on, man, this ain't your time, homie. Like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, dog. Put out good music, game, and then people will love you too. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my
Which
God.
I think the game has is also an icon in certain sort of ways.
Oh.
When it comes to rap music, and his place in rap music,
Yeah, but I don't know nobody that don't love DMX.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. From a generation, you're talking from soccer
Uh,
moms to regular. You talking CEOs. I mean, you're talking DMX stress across the globe, man.
yes,
Globe, the globe, man.
yes,
That's his impact.
yes,
Yeah, yeah, and and that's why that headline in that newspaper. That's why it made it even more problematic. You know what I'm saying? It was probably written by somebody
yeah,
who
yeah.
does
No,
not
I agree.
understand
I agree.
DMX's
And
impact.
that you brung up gang. Right, right. And you brung up game, and again, man, this is something I wish we eventually people in our culture. Um, and it doesn't matter on being problematic for a long time or problematic in a moment, because people have to sit back, and especially these kind of moments, and really, the platform the game have to to say something like that, and not sit back and just say, you know King, rest in peace, you was important to hip hop, plain and simple. um to do that, he was screaming out for attention, which makes him problematic because we don't need that. Not at this point in time. Not in our culture. Not in hip hop. We're I can speak for some people I spoke to about hip hop. We're over these artists that are seeking attention, especially in bad moments. And I'm just closed like that, man.
Yeah, yeah, man. That's a good way to close it, man. Is that DMX? He's most definitely going to he's most definitely left his mark on hip hop, and I think in the world. You know what I'm saying? And in black culture, and he will be missed, and people still play his music, man. And hopefully, I seen that. I think I seen some. I haven't confirmed whether this was true or not, so I don't know. Something about Jay Z and Beyonce buying his masters and giving it to his kids. So so his kids will be taken
I
care of,
heard the
and
same
hopefully his
thing.
kids.
Big ups.
Yeah, 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 man. So that's pretty dope, man.
Big ups.
So
And people got to understand, you know, DMX first 5 albums, I think six, went diamond in a year. His
yeah,
first five, 6 albums went diamond in a year.
Yeah,
These
man.
kids
And
don't, they don't understand that tremendous impact on hip hop.
oh, hip hop, man.
To do
We
something
didn't even
like
talk
that in
about
a
Belly.
year. Oh my goodness. Oh man. Yeah. Yeah. Classic.
Yeah, yeah, classic, man. Classic, man. Yeah, X. Yeah, it's just sad. For me, it's just sad because I mean he was 50 years old. He's still young, man. Still young. Just
Yeah.
gone too soon. Gone too soon. And as always, man, it's this the political part of this is understanding that we need to do and what I mean is we, the American country, our country and our society needs to do a better job of taking care of mental health, particularly men, particularly African American men, particularly African Americans. You know what I mean, and other people in social economic statuses that we take care of, that we look at and support and pass things like Medicare for all. So, yep,
Agree.
yeah, man,
Agree. Agree.
yeah, man. So let's move on to Charles Barkley, man. So you seen that thing Charles Barkley was talking about, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley.
Yeah, man. So what? There's parts of it. What Charles Barkley was talking about. That I agree, right? And that parts when what he was saying was he said that black people and white people are generally, and I don't understand. Yeah, well, never mind. I do understand why our politics get broke down in black and white, but to me those days are going away. But the one thing Charles Barkley was talking about saying, hey, black people and white people are generally good people, with no issues, and it's the politicians and the media that splits black people and white people up. And that last part, I just have to just disagree with him, man. There is a clear side that is being taken. You know what I'm saying? By people,
Yeah.
not both black and white, man. Like there are people who are taking a side, especially when we're talking about what's going on in Georgia, man. Who are taking the side and think it's okay to not allow people to have the freedom to vote. You know, yeah, it's yeah.
Mm. Uh, No, no, man. That's like, that topic that you're bringing up, man. It's one of those topics that can transcend or transinduce to different things. Charles Barkley said something again where we're talking about. He started off on the right street, but what he did was got off on on the next turn, because again, you have to understand the corporate structure that he's in, and he's also who his, and he made an opinion based off of that, not based off of going to local boys and girls club without the media and really getting their opinion and seeing what's going on down on the ground level, or what people are feeling. And being as though this is not to demonize his interracial relationship. I don't really care. I'm just saying people also view things in that manner if your spouse is opposite of, because you also have to protect them. And it, at that moment, Charles Barkley didn't say to himself what he see in the world. the news, society, I understand that my wife or my wife's father, uncle, or whoever may be offended, but I see people that look like me that needs a true voice. He stopped right there before he got to that point.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, man. There are. Look, man. The part that Charles Barkley is missing, and I think that what he falsely equated or didn't want to admit to, is that there are like there are people who believe that the election was stolen from them, and so on and so forth, right? And because they believe that the election was stolen from them, they storm the Capitol, they passing all these voter suppression laws, and so you can't both sides it, man. You know what I'm saying? Like there is no both sides. There are people who want to do the right thing for the majority of people in this country, and there are people who are fighting to maintain power, man. And that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? And there are people who are using disinformation and misinformation to keep keep the division going. And that's where Charles Barkley is right, right? When you're talking about media, but you have to call the media out, right? You can't say Republicans and Democrats. No.
Right,
Let's call out Fox News. Let's call out, Rush Limbaugh. Like again, I listen to conservative radio down here. They still playing Rush Limbaugh. Why?
why, why,
Why? Why are you still playing Rush Limbaugh? You know what I mean? His voice and stuff like that, man. And I called in a few times and to the radio station, man. And there are people who, like I called in and I told, they were having a discussion on voting rights, and I told them that the right to vote is not in the Constitution. It's a responsibility to vote, but not the right to vote. That's not in the Constitution. You know what I'm
right,
saying? And of course the callers afterwards got so hung up on me saying that voting is not a right. They didn't understand what I was saying. You know what I'm saying? What do you mean they're
yeah,
not a
yeah,
right? Oh, there was a conversation about the Second Amendment, and they totally jumped over the fact of not voting to go straight to the Second Amendment. Because I made the comment like, look, I don't want to get shot trying to go pick up eggs, man, from Walmart. You know what I'm saying? Like because a person
right,
has a bad day. You know what I'm saying? You know what I
right,
mean? But they totally gloss over that. You know what I'm saying? And then the trick again, Charles Barkley, the trick that's going on is people are saying getting so tied up in voter ID, and it's not about the voter ID, man.
right,
It
right,
is about people who are trying to infringe upon other people's freedom, man. You're the
right,
minority trying to oversee the majority. You know what I'm saying?
right, right,
Like that.
right,
That's what it is. So there is no. I'm sorry, Charles. There is no both sides here, man. There is a clear side,
right,
and yes, Republicans and Democrats they do use the media to be divisive. In many
right,
ways,
right,
but it's still up to the individual to discern to not take in what they're hearing and do some research, man. You know what I'm saying? Is what this person telling me true?
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah, yeah. Man, we were talking about that earlier, and you know, people, there's a such thing as categorizing things, and yes, people should have some responsibility, but what category do you want to place them in? Like what
Mm.
in numeric order. Um, and yes, the media starts with the lie because they have a full agenda, and then people have the responsibility to do research on what they are hearing. And after that, it doesn't matter what a politician say. It doesn't matter what a celebrity say because you understand. after doing research that the media either is trying to mislead you or the politician is trying to mislead you. And these things, I was speaking to a gentleman, and he was telling me he's still touting for Trump, black gentleman and so forth. And I'm like, dude, it's 2021. Trump laws. It's no need to keep on trying to rehash that part. You need to sit back and figure out what policies should either you, your friends, whoever you believe, push, and stop trying to repeat what this media is trying to tell you to repeat. First thing he said to me was, "Oh, you sound just like the left." I said, "See, again, you're not getting my point. This isn't the left. This is about you doing clear research." And all he can say outside of that was that I live in in a box and I'm a sheeple. So again, man, you go to this thing, man, where people have a duty to educate themselves, man, so you don't fall into these bubbles and these rips, and you understand where your clear divide in the world is.
Yeah, man, that's that's always interesting when I hear people like that, man. They act like when I hear like people on you hear about people on the Sean Hannity or whatever, and they're like they're like, oh, the media, the news media. I'm like, dude, you are the media. So what are you talking about? You know what I mean? You communicating a message. You're the media. You know what I'm saying? They try to act like they're not the media, man. And but like you said, this obsession with
Business,
Trump, yeah, this obsession with Trump is
their
because
internet service.
you know their obsession with Trump is because they like symbolism, man. They want symbolism. You know what I'm saying? It's yeah, man. It's I'm sorry, man. I lost my train of thought there. But they like symbolism and they want symbolism, and so it's not about governance, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like that. Like there's a clear side, Charles Barkley, of people who are trying to make government work, and there's other people who are trying to use government to maintain power. Like, and that's what it is. And to make this this I say it's a false equivalent, or not calling a thing, man. Doing this both sides thing, man. There's not both sides here. There's not both sides, man. I'm sorry, man. Like there's not both sides. There's one side who wants to be $15 minimum wage, Medicare for all, paid family leave, to make voting a guarantee, and then there's the other side who don't want none of that. They're anti everything, man. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's not just the politicians; it is the people who vote, who consume these things,
Right.
man. So you can't simply just say, Charles Barkley, oh, it's yes, generally people are nice people, but at the same time they have a responsibility to information, man, and they have to ensure that they themselves communicate, or get the right information, so they're not being misled. But there's people that just want to be misled, man. There's people that just want to be misled, man. And it's always, and like I always say, man, it's just strange to me to see a black person that supports like what's going on in Georgia, man, without blinking an eye, man, and without blinking an eye. And then it's crazy, man. It's just crazy. Yeah. Yeah, man. But yeah, man, that's all I got on that topic, man.
No, 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 man. It just, oh my goodness. This. it brings me to, Barack Obama said a statement, right, where he was talking about the ultra woke. And man, I wish he would have framed it so much better, because this is what happened when you don't have, quote unquote, people that are ultra woke. You then have the dumbing down, out shouting everyone else, because this is what it is. They have more control over media. They're more seen in media. Um, and when you go to Facebook, man, you can go and see who are the top YouTubers, who are the top Facebook, so forth. And that dumbing down that they are doing is dangerous to everyone else. And if you don't approach them being woke, you will tend to fall in there, because what they use is a truth narrative and then try to spin it on its head. And Charles Barkley, this is where he started with the truth, but then turned it on his head, because he's caught up in that win as well, and not realizing that he is a part of media. So the first people that you can, if he wants to say politicians, where he stopped at media, because he would have to criticize himself.
Yeah, yeah, and I think he was like trying to critique, himself or the media. He just did a bad job of it, man. But at the same time, like we're saying, man, that that they that we have to that Charles Barkley has to. I mean, you got to call a thing, man, and people are so afraid to call a thing, man. They're so afraid to they're so afraid to address, the real issues, man, the real problems that we have. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like, no, I'm sorry, Charles. Like, and people didn't storm the Capitol. People didn't storm the Capitol because they got told a lie.
Hmm.
They stormed the Capitol because they believe that lie. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just what it is, man. And it's so, yes, Charles,
Right,
black people and
right,
white
right,
people,
right.
people in America are generally good people, man. But there is just being, like you said, there is just too many people now who are being willfully ignorant, man. They're being willfully ignorant to to what's going on, man. And oh man, lost my bro there. We're gonna try to get him back on, but there's just too many people being willfully ignorant to what's going on, and they and that ignorance is what is driving a lot of these misinformation, driving people to create misinformation websites, misinformation that permeates Facebook, misinformation that permeates YouTube. This is why other countries can use these other tactics to infiltrate our elections, because people believe these things, man. They believe these things, and that's how they, and that's how we, yeah, and that's how we, as a country, get to where we are, to where we're always doing this back and forth with, especially in politics, because we accept, we for some reason accept people who who are okay with misinformation, man. And we don't, and we don't want to hurt people's feelings, man. We don't want to hurt people's feelings, so we allow them to have big voice, a bigger voice, you know what I mean? Which is why we're going on 4 months from, we're going on almost 6 months from the election. And there are still people out here using voter integrity as a reason to pass all these voter laws. And it's just ridiculous, man. It's just ridiculous. Let me see here. I'm gonna try to get my bro back in. But while I'm trying to get him back in, I'm gonna play this video of this lieutenant, this second lieutenant who got arrested in or he was pulled over in Virginia apparently in December by some officers over a license plate. I guess his license plate was missing off of his brand new car that he brought. It's only 5 minutes long, but the actual encounter is about 20 minutes long. And so I'm gonna go ahead and play this, and then
Yeah. Traffic stop at BP. Yeah, where you heard
Going back.
felony traffic stop.
Put your hands up. The window.
Felony traffic stop, 1836.
Put your hands out the window. Put your hands out the window.
13. 804, 8 p.m. Windsor, 1 East
Put
Windsor.
your hands out the window. Turn the vehicle off. Put your hands out the window.
Come around your side.
How many occupants in the vehicle? How many occupants are in your vehicle? Open the door slowly and step out. Open the door. Get out the car. Open the door slowly and get out.
Get out of the car now!
Open the door, get out the car.
Hold still, hold. Keep your hands outside the window. Keep your hands outside the window. Get out of the car now!
Get out the car.
Now! Get out of the car now! Get out of the car now! Yo, what? Guess what? I'm a veteran too. I learned to obey. Get out of the car. Get out of the car now. What's going on is you're fixing to ride the lightning, son. Get out of the car now. Get out of the car now. Get out of the car.
Sir, just get out the car. Work with us and we'll talk to you. Get out the car.
You received an order. Obey it.
I'm honestly afraid to get out. Can I?
Yeah, you should be. Get out.
What's
Get out.
going on?
Get out the car.
Get out
I
now.
have not committed any crime.
You're being stopped for a traffic violation. You're not cooperating at this point right now. You're under arrest
For a
for.
traffic-
You're being detained. Okay. You're being detained for obstruction of justice.
Traffic violation. I do not have to get out. You haven't even told
Really?
me why I'm being stopped.
Really?
Get your
Get
hands.
out. Get out of the car now. Get out of the car.
Get your hands off me.
Get out of the car.
Get your hands off me.
You know what?
Get your hands off me.
Not a
Get your
problem.
hands off me.
Look up,
I
Daniel.
didn't do anything. Don't do that.
Sir.
Get out of the car now.
Hey, sir.
Get out of the car now.
Sir, look.
I'm trying to talk
Get out.
to you.
Okay.
I'm trying to
I'm gonna
talk.
talk.
Get out.
Just get out
Relax.
my car.
Can you please
Get out.
relax? Can
Get
you
out.
Please relax.
Get out of the car right now.
This
Now.
is not how you treat a vet. I'm actively serving this country, and this is how you're going to treat me.
Back up, Daniel.
I didn't do anything.
Back up.
Whoa, hold on.
Daniel.
What's going? Hold on. Watch it.
Get out out of the car. Get out of the car now.
That's fucked up. That's fucked
Get out of the car now.
Sir, just get out of the car.
I'm trying to breathe.
Get out of the car now.
Fucked up. That's really fucked up.
Yeah, get out of the car and get on the ground now. You're gonna get it again.
I don't even want to reach for my seatbelt. Can you?
Take your seatbelt off and get out of the car.
Can you please?
Get out of the car now. Listen, take off your seatbelt and get out of the car.
Look, I'm just gonna please.
You're gonna do what you're told. Get out of the car.
Look,
Take your seatbelt off and get out of the. Take your seatbelt off.
look, my hands are out.
Take.
People got this happened, and I'm sorry, I was on mute there. But people, this happened in December of last year, apparently, to this second lieutenant. And like I said, he had just bought the vehicle apparently, and he had his temporary license plate in the window of the vehicle. And again, in the longer clip of the vehicle, he's explaining to him that he was trying to drive to a well-lit area. And in those cases, if you're out there and you're trying to drive to a well-lit area, make sure you call 911 to call the dispatcher to let the police officers who are following you know that is your intention, and that's what you're doing, and you're not escaping. Okay. But a lot of people say that, God was upset with Colin Kaepernick about, him disrespecting the troops and whatnot. And yeah, man, that was difficult to watch, especially for me, as a veteran myself, who did 23 years, in the military. It's kind of difficult to watch that. And let me just say, man, because we always got to preface this with, hey, man, we understand that there are thousands, hundred thousands of police officer men and women who are in the police force, and they're doing the right thing on the day in and day out basis, and they're good cops. And I'm by no means saying that these gentlemen are bad cops. What I'm saying is that they probably could have handled that situation a little different. By just going on looking at the body cam footage there. Now, of course, the detractors will say that, oh, you're not a police officer, you aren't trained. And that's true. But I understand human interaction, man. I understand that in that moment, nobody's life was in danger. The second lieutenant's hands were outside his car, and they were screaming loud enough that they can communicate back and forth to each other, that they could have communicated why the stop was happening, and he could have communicated that why he drove to that well-lit area, right? Because later in the video, that doesn't get explained until they throw him on the ground and they put him in handcuffs, and then it's like, oh yeah, and at the end of it, they let him go, which is just crazy in and of itself. And usually, my what I have an issue with at times with these videos is that, again, we talk about the use of force, and is the use of force equal to the infraction that's happening, right? So this man's license plate fell out. Is that equal to getting mace? Is that equal to having guns drawn and taser drawn on you, being thrown on the ground, being handcuffed? Is that equal? And that's what it comes down to. For me, policing most definitely is a tough job, man. You have number one, police want to get home to. You know what I'm saying? But it's also a bigger conversation about guns and guns violence in this country that needs to be had. You know what I mean? If because what was shown in the later video, in the 20-minute long video, is that he also had a gun in the video, and we know from the Philando Castile body cam footage, Philando Castile was a legal gun owner. He was doing everything he was properly supposed to do, and he was still murdered for it. So I'm glad that gentleman didn't reach for his gun, or that he had his hands out, and those officers didn't see the gun, until later. But that, but yeah, man, that was tough to watch, because usually there's some privilege with being a military member in uniform when you get pulled over by the police and such. So, but yeah, man, it's again, it's all about when we have these conversations about defund the police or reform the police, however you want to say it, man, to get an understanding, I guess, of what it is that the police officers are supposed to do when there is an obviously no situation where their lives are in danger, and what force is equal to the situation. Again, they jumped out the car. They were already, you hear their voices, the inflections in their voices. They were already escalated. Everything was already escalated, and there was no determination. It didn't look like they were, trying to de-escalate the situation in no way, shape, and or form. And so that's making the news. That's making the rounds. If you have time to look at it, if you have time to look at it, if you looked at George Floyd, and I'm an individual, I haven't paid attention to the George Floyd murder case. I did not watch the whole 8 minutes and 49 seconds of George Floyd being murdered. And that's my, I did not want to watch a lynching, and I really don't want to relive that. But it is important thing to see. But again, when watching that, you have to look at it. You have to pay attention to what's going on. A lot of people are just focused on, oh, the police are just doing their job. Yes, they were doing their job, but they could have done a better job. That shouldn't have resulted in that young man being maced. It shouldn't have resulted in him being arrested, guns drawn on him. And then later, they kind of like apologizing for it and like send him on his way. None of that's called for, man. It's absolutely ridiculous, man. Yeah, and we need to continue to have these stories and these conversations about what that mean, man. And I'm the type of person, I believe that part of the issue is within our community, that we don't have enough Black people who are people that come from our community or these communities. I don't know too much about the community that this man was around, so I'm just speaking in generalities and experience. Is that we don't, the police officers don't generally come from our neighborhoods. They don't generally come from communities that look like us, and that's how these issues are, that's how these issues, some of these issues happen, and even if they do come from communities like us, they get into the police force and they get brainwashed or belief that, that they're better than. So, and that's why, KRS-One made one of my favorite songs from KRS-One, Black Cop. Listen to that song, Black Cop, and understand what I'm saying. In that song, the theme of it is a Black cop who come from a neighborhood, and then he goes back and police the neighborhood, and he's policing it in the same systematic, oppressive way. So it's a good song. But yeah, man, and we just need to continue to have these conversations about what police reform looks like, man. What policing looks like in America, man. What policing, and then what responsibility as that we have as American individuals, man. What is that responsibility? What is it that we do? What is it that what is it that what is it that we can do to make sure that police, don't have to, have a shoot first, mentality. Then these individuals, nobody got shot, so that was good. It was just some spray, but some spray gets slammed down on the ground and handcuffed. But again, I still think that that's excessive for the infraction. And it did not look like with the second lieutenant's hands out the window away from his gun, that he was not putting those officers' lives in danger, right? But yeah. So yeah, man, I'm gonna end it on that. Lost my bro, but we're good. I hope you guys enjoy this short stream. And I'm gonna do a little better job of making sure I put out the streams and information in the Facebook group and on YouTube that we're streaming on right now, so that we can have a immersive conversation about a lot of these issues that we want to talk about. We will talk about mental health. We'll finish that conversation. And I think it's timely when we're talking about DMX's life, addiction, and things of that nature that comes from mental health. And also CDC just said that racism is a mental health condition. Also, Jane Elliott said that in the 1980s as well. And in the 1960s, I believe the Kerner report said the same thing. So what the CDC is saying is nothing new. Is absolutely nothing new. Don't let nobody lead you to believe that this is something new that the government is coming up with. It's nothing new. It's nothing new. It's just that the information is being put out by the government in a more profound and robust way. So I'm looking forward to reading that article on the CDC about racism being a mental health issue. And me personally, I believe that racism is a mental health issue because you have to be mentally, or something has to be wrong with you to not like somebody or want to oppress people because of the color of their skin or their or your belief in a racial hierarchy. Because race is not real. So, but when we get to that discussion on race, we'll talk about that. But race is not real. Race is made up. It was made up in the 1600s. Look it up. All right. So that's going to be it for Yah'm saying podcast, man. Like I said, thank you for everybody that's going to tune in. Please stick with us as we evolve and we move on as we continue to have discussions, and we build conversations around issues, not just for Black people, but for just peoples in general, for men, for women, socioeconomic issues. We'll touch on all that. Just hope you guys stick with us. Like I said, we're on YouTube, as Yah'm saying. Like and subscribe to our channel. Click the notification button so you know when we are doing one of these live videos, or when we post a video. Do that. All right, so this is Tay. This is Yah'm saying, have a great rest of your weekend and have a great week. All right, we out.